The spaceport of Karos Prime never truly rested. It inhaled and exhaled beneath kilometers of polished obsidian flooring, alive with motion and sound. Vast docking towers pierced the ceiling, each vibrating softly with gravitic drives and shield resonance. The air shimmered with layered languages, sharp clicks, melodic trills, harmonic waves, and artificial tones overlapping like clashing instruments in a chaotic symphony. Merchant families argued prices, mercenary crews lingered with watchful eyes, and nobles glided past behind glowing energy veils. And standing quietly in the middle of it all was a human girl, alone. She couldn't have been older than 16. Her boots were scuffed thin, her jacket patched so many times it barely held its shape, hanging loose on her slight frame. A simple canvas pack sat by her feet. No armor. No weapons. No escort. Just a girl with dark hair pulled into a practical knot and eyes that calmly observed everything around her. That alone made her stand out. Humans were uncommon on Karos Prime. Not forbidden, just remembered. The galaxy never forgot humans easily. They were the species that advanced with empty magazines, that negotiated ceasefires while bleeding, whose colonies burned only to be rebuilt by sheer stubborn will. Still, this was a child. And children rarely drew attention, until the guard beasts arrived. The first tremor rolled beneath the deck like distant thunder. Conversations faltered mid-sentence. A merchant dropped a crate of crystalline fruit, shards scattering across the floor. Then came another tremor. And another. 10 massive shapes emerged through the eastern security gate. Metal claws struck the floor in perfect rhythm. Each creature stood over 3 meters tall, quadrupedal, plated in armored hide, glowing optic arrays embedded deep within angular skulls. Varesh guard beasts, engineered weapons, half living terror, half military machine. They were not born. They were built. Designed for one purpose, neutralization. Each wore a control collar marked with the sigil of the Jareen Authority, rulers of Kos Prime. Energy conduits pulsed along their spines. Plasma emitters were fused directly into their jaws. One Varesh could end a riot. 10 meant an example. The terminal went silent. Travelers backed away in fear. Some fled outright. Others activated recording implants, unable to tear their eyes away. A wave of unease swept through the terminal. Why deploy 10? The beasts spread with mechanical precision, forming a flawless circle around the human girl. Claws locked into the deck as stabilizers engaged. Weapon systems hummed to life, low and predatory. The girl didn't flinch. She slowly raised her hands, not in surrender, but to remove her pack. She placed it gently on the floor. A Jeroan commander stepped forward, flanked by 2 hovering drone scribes. Tall and insectoid, his polished chitin armor was etched with rank insignias. His voice echoed through the terminal speakers. "Human juvenile," he declared. "You are in violation of interstellar security protocols. Submit to inspection immediately." The girl tilted her head slightly. "I already was," she replied calmly. Her voice was soft, yet it carried. The commander's mandibles clicked. "You attempted to bypass cargo screening at Dock 17. I walked through it," she said. "They waved me on. That is statistically unlikely." She shrugged. "Guess I looked harmless." A murmur rippled through the crowd. "Your identification," the commander demanded. She reached into her jacket, slowly. Several beasts shifted as targeting reticles flared. She withdrew a small, worn data plate and held it up. The commander scanned it, then froze. Just for a fraction of a second. The crowd didn't notice, but the beasts did. Their synchronized hum stuttered as systems recalibrated, reacting to conflicting commands. The commander recovered too quickly. "This identification is irregular. You will be detained for verification." "I can't," the girl said simply. "Refusal will result in immediate force." She glanced at the 10 towering beasts, then at the watching crowd, and sighed. I was hoping to catch my connecting flight. A deep growl rolled through the Varesh throats. The commander raised a claw. Neutralize. They lunged. What followed would be replayed across the galaxy for generations. The girl stepped forward. Her boot struck the deck, and something unseen rippled outward. Lights flickered. Every Varesh slammed to a halt as if striking an invisible wall. Claws screamed against the floor. Plasma emitters flared, then died. The air around her changed. The first beast collapsed as its armor crumpled inward, crushed by invisible pressure. The second tried to retreat, only to be hurled sideways into a docking pillar with enough force to fracture its reinforced skull. Screams erupted from the crowd. The remaining beasts roared and fired in unison. The plasma bolts didn't deflect. They bent. Curving around the girl like water around stone, the blasts looped back and slammed into their own creators, detonating in controlled yet devastating bursts. In seconds, half the guard beasts lay in ruins. The survivors hesitated. Machines didn't feel fear, but the biological parts inside them did. The girl raised one hand and closed her fist. Every remaining Varesh smashed into the deck, pinned by crushing force. Spines bowed. Claws snapped. Control collars shattered like glass. Silence returned, absolute and heavy. The commander stumbled backward, mandibles clattering. What are you?" he demanded. The girl looked at him, not with rage or triumph, but with something close to disappointment. "I'm human." "That's impossible," he whispered. "No human can." She tapped her temple. "My name is Mara Ellison. Civilian courier. Registered gravitational adaptive." The words hit the crowd like an explosion. Gravitational adaptives were legends, humans who could sense and shape gravity itself. Earth lost its core stabilizers during the third collapse, Mara said calmly. Some of us adapted. Most didn't. She glanced at the crushed beasts. I learned to walk before I learned to talk, on a planet that tried to kill me every second. The commander fell to his knees. "You're a weapon." "No," she replied quietly. "I'm a child you tried to execute." She retrieved her pack as gravity eased. Then a new presence arrived, the High Matriarch herself. After surveying the destruction, she spoke. "Why do you travel alone, human?" "Because I can," Mara said. "And because someone has to deliver hope." Moments later, she walked away, unstopped, unchallenged. The headlines spread fast. 10 guard beasts failed. 1 human girl walked away. And the galaxy remembered, humans were never harmless.